Hey guys, Aaron here with Simply New England Off-Road, coming to you from the director's chair. Maybe this will be a series moving forward, maybe it won't, but I figured, hey, let's do this video in comfort. So what I'm about to do here is, I have owned this machine behind me, 2021 CFMOTO ZForce 950, for 4 years. I've seen a lot of reviews, review after owning for 1 year, review after owning for 2 years, review after owning for 3 years. I'm going to go somewhere a little bit outside of that and say review after owning for 4 years. So first off, I've been away for a while. I have not been away from the CFMOTO world. I've been itching to get back and do some of this. So here I am. Hopefully this is going to be the renewal of the first video of a lot more to come. And let me start by saying this. You'll notice there's no sponsorship anywhere here. This is not on behalf of anyone. This is my true feelings and thoughts as somebody that's been a part of this community for a little while. Again, I've been away, but I've never strayed too far from anything CFMOTO. Hopefully you can view me as someone that is coming to you with honesty and no motivation to say what I'm about to say, good or bad, about this machine. I do have some notes here. The notes are strictly notes for me to be able to hit touch points that I want to be able to express. It's not a script. Here goes, and I'm going to jump right into this. First thing on this, performance and ride. Let's start with that performance. As we know, this is a 963 cc V-twin machine. No, it's not the fastest machine on the market. It's not the best machine on the market. But here's what I can tell you to start. Throttle response on this thing. Okay, it's not bad. It's not the best I've ever seen, but when you take off, it does respond, it does move. It has an eco mode and it has a sport mode. I completely noticed the difference between eco and sport. When I hit that thing in sport and I hit on the gas, it takes off, it moves, you can feel the punch, you can feel the throw back. No, it's not a race car, your head doesn't go all the way back to the seat, but I will say, if you step on that throttle fully, you definitely get some of that feeling. Number two, the suspension. The suspension definitely soaks up a lot of what the trails have to give you. My style of riding has been anywhere from straight railroad beds, rockiness where I'm literally climbing a hill and the whole thing is rocks, regular trail riding, riding with friends, keeping up with friends who do have machines that are more powerful than this. But I have never felt like it lacked in the power where I was left way behind. In fact, a lot of the times I have found myself in the lead because of the width of this, that I was able to handle the trails a lot better than some of my friends with larger machines. I can honestly say, 4 years later after owning this, I have some complaints, but I do have less complaints than I do praises. Comfort and features. As we know, CFMOTO has always given us our bang for the buck. When I purchased this, it came with the roof. It came with the winch. Obviously, it had the lights. It had the upgraded tires. It had the width that I wanted. It came with seats that are extremely comfortable. Keep in mind, all those features I just mentioned to you, if you wanted those features from another brand, 90% of the time, you will be paying extra for those. I did mention the winch. The winch also comes with a wireless remote control, which is amazing. It also comes, when I opened it for the first time, tucked into the glove compartment. Yes, it has a glove compartment. A wired winch control. So that way, if you wanted to stand back quite a distance because you're going to pull something and you're a little concerned about that winch cable snapping, you have plenty of distance. And then, of course, again, you have the wireless remote, which I can't tell you how many times I've used that over the wired just because of pure convenience. I can tell you after the 4 years, the seats are still comfortable. I haven't had a problem with them, but there is one complaint. The seat belts that came on the 2021, I can't tell you how many times I buckled those in, went for a ride, went to unbuckle. Either I couldn't unbuckle or the strap would come right across and it would hold you in. Now that's a dangerous situation. You end up getting into an accident, you end up running into something or somebody and you need to get out of that machine quick. You'd find that you couldn't get out. And that was a real hassle. I actually have real world stories of that happened with me and a couple other folks that I went riding with. It was a very uncomfortable situation. So personally, and you can go back to my other videos if you'd like, I took those seat belts out and I put in some racing straps. The best thing I ever did. Okay, so let's be real. Has it been perfect? No. I can tell you after 4 years, it's loosening up a little bit. not necessarily keeping up with some of its competitors, Polaris or Can-Am. However, go compare the price point on a machine like this to a Polaris or a Can-Am. Way better bang for the buck. Maintenance access on the 2021. Getting to the clutch belt, because obviously we know this is belt driven, it is not the easiest clutch belt to get to. Now I will say, in the newer models, I believe, could be 2022 or 2023, they did fix that. They listened to the customers. They made that clutch belt much more accessible and a lot easier to get to. And like I said, after a few years, you do start to notice a little bit more rattle, a little bit more shake. It gets a little bit louder, but nothing that can't be taken care of with proper maintenance. And CFMOTO is very clear in their manuals about the type of maintenance that you should be doing on a machine like this. So if you think you're going to buy this and it's going to be like a Cadillac where, hey, it's just going to run and all I have to do is an oil change, it'll stay good forever. Yes, if you're lucky, oil changes absolutely will make the difference. Do expect to have to tune this up now and then. Nothing major. Access to those things, oil change, spark plugs, getting the tires off, adjusting the shocks, all of that is extremely accessible and easy to do. Okay, next, I've got repairs and upgrades. I have not had to do any repairs to this yet. I am looking at about, on this machine, because I have this and I have the four-wheeler, so I switch them back and forth. I'm looking at about 1,800 miles on this. All I've had to do so far was an oil change, and last year I did change out the spark plugs and the air filter. I'm going to admit it, spark plug air filter, that was the first time in 4 years. I was noticing a little bit of performance difference. I changed those. Everything went back to exactly how it was, mostly how it was the first time I rode it. Parts accessibility. Luckily, parts on this have been very easy to come by. Aftermarket parts all over the place, OEM parts. CFMOTO is doing a great job making sure that we don't have to sit and wait for weeks on end for something. Now, of course, there could be something very specialty. You're going and digging into the engine, something along that lines, and you need something specific, and it could take a little while to get. But so far, for me, I have not waited any longer than what I was willing to pay for shipping to get what I needed. Now we know we have MSC, we've got 3-star, we've got RNG, we've got on-road off-road accessories. There are so many companies out there. I'm not going to go through and start to name them all because, again, I don't want this to be about sponsorship or me giving opinions based on something that somebody gave me as a sponsored part or something to put on this. As you can see, I put stickers on this. I have new mirrors on this. I have rear screens on this. I have a speaker on this. I have lights on this. I have an amazing undercarriage protector that I put on this. Again, if you want to know more about that, check out some of the videos. Pretty much everything I've mentioned, I have videos on. I put the racing harnesses in this. I have put that trunk on this. I put new rear bars in the back, new rear picker bars on the front. I have a fog light. There's more in here. I can't even think of everything. Just, again, accessories is what I'm getting at. Super easy to get. The prices are not outrageous. This thing is so easily upgradable. I compare it to my Jeep. I've always seen my Jeep is, I always call it plug and play. You need the part, you put it on, it's bolt on, bolt off. CFMOTO did think future in these machines and that people would not just own them for a year or two. So for you to be able to get that long enjoyment out of it, when you start getting bored of it, you go out, you find a part for it, you find an add-on, boom, it's available. And there are hundreds of things that you can add on this. Clutch kits, tune kits, that's just a couple things just to name for as far as motor performance. And then, of course, again, as far as accessories, it's nonstop. Just go online, go into some of the groups. You can even come into my group on Facebook, which is CFMOTO Everything. And there are people all throughout that talking about add-ons, parts, questions, answers. I do keep that group very limited so you guys aren't overloaded with ads and sponsorship stuff. It's real people, raw people, CFMOTO-centric owners. That's what that group channel is all about. So again, that's CFMOTO Everything on Facebook. Let's see, what else did I want to touch on here? We just went over repairs and upgrades. You have mods, tires, clutch kits, skid plates, which of course definitely improve the reliability of the machine and its longevity. Let's see here. I'd also wanted to go over the cost of ownership. Okay, so when it comes to cost, it's actually been very reasonable. Aside from routine maintenance, repairs that I just mentioned, which again, really wasn't a repair, it was maintenance, and the seat belts, which I did replace, I'll call that repairs. It hasn't drained my wallet. Insurance for this, I pay $320 a year. You don't have to insure it. I like to insure it because it does sit out here. Somebody could possibly steal it. I could crash. I could be pulling it on a trailer and there could be an accident. It's a little bit too much of an investment to not insure. But again, that's completely up to you. We also have the registration. All right, registration. That's going to differ from state to state. I just registered this, again, because I went out on a ride last week, $65. And let me say, if you live in a state that allows you to register and put a portion of that registration money towards a club, do that. Because those clubs are what keep us riding and what keep those trails safe and clean. Now, next, the question would be, have I gotten my money's worth? Yes, absolutely I've got my money's worth. I have no regrets. If I could go back, I would make the same exact decision based on the last 4 years plus of owning the 2021 Z950 put out by CFMOTO. Now, if you're someone that wants the absolute best in the performance of a Maverick or a Can-Am, yeah, this machine may not be for you. But if you're someone that's looking to go out and ride, enjoy yourself, not have to constantly worry about maintenance, and a price point that does not break your bank and will not put you into major debt for the next 5 years, I highly recommend the CFMOTO Z950. Now we know this is a 2021. There has been a lot of improvements since then to 2025. I'm not going to go into those today. That'll be for another video. But guys, I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for watching. Please drop a comment. If you have a ZForce 950 2021 to current, drop me a message. Let me know what you've thought about it. Let me know if there's some things that you've come across that you like or don't like. I do have more rides and reviews coming soon. And as I always say at the end of all my videos, Aaron here with Simply New England Off-Road. I will see you on the trails.